Bring your breath into your practice. So now at the end of the day, we want to start just releasing, right? Whatever happened during the day, just let go of that and come into our practice. So find yourself comfortable on your mat, but with your feet nice and grounded and your legs engaged, your spine long, okay? Well, let's go over our alignment for a moment. Hips over ankles, shoulders over hips. And then with the ears over the shoulders, done by taking the whole head, right? Not by doing this, but done by taking the whole head back. And then turn your palms forward so that your heart opens, your shoulders open. We start to counteract that forwardness that happens a lot during the day. And just breathe here. Notice how calming and settling it can be to just breathe as you allow your breath to deepen. So we're going to use the arms now to collect what we want from the day and release what we don't want. So with your palms out, exhale. Inhale as you draw your arms up. Just think about something positive, maybe several things that happened today that you want to hold on to. And then turn your palms to face the earth and press down through center just to release anything that you don't want to carry into your practice. And just do that a few more times, really keeping those feet grounded, spine long, arms up, and as you exhale, just release. And just do that 2 more times at a pace that works for you right now. And whenever you finish your second round, just come back to your mountain pose and breathe. We'll meet back there. All right, and let's just shake things out, loosen up a bit, and get ready to move the spine in its various directions that it goes. So with the feet slightly wider than hip-width distance apart, knees bent, hips back, okay? Bring your hands to your thighs and round slightly forward, okay, for the cat pose, and then open up for cow, and round forward and back. And we're making bigger movements in the back opening, like with the cow, because during the day we spend more time like this, so we're counteracting that by making bigger movements in our cow here. And let the head always follow the spine. And the next time you find your hands to your thighs, just hold here. Breathe into that space in between the shoulder blades. And then come back up to standing. Inhale and exhale here. Okay, so we're going to take the hands like we're holding a big ball here with the right hand on top and start to take the spine side to side. So reach your left hand to the right, right hand to the left. And then come around and reach your right hand to the left, left hand to the right, and come around. Remember, first we warm things up and then we take them a little deeper. So just keep that in mind as you rotate through your ball of energy, going side to side. All right, we started with tilting to the left. So now we're going to tilt to the right one more time and come back to standing. And then take the right arm up and tilt back over to the left, keeping the shoulder away from the ear. So feel that nice stretch in the right side here. Inhale and exhale. And then switch sides, left arm up and tilt. So we warmed it up, now we're really stretching it out. And let's release it down. Inhale and exhale. All right, so early in the week, it's nice to do a lot of tapping for energy here. So take your legs slightly wider than hip width distance, the knees are soft, and we're going to go ahead and for our twisting, start rotating side to side, knocking on the door of life here. And let the legs be natural. If the heels want to start to lift at any point, let them. Take your arms away from your body and move side to side. And then eventually, with a gentle fist right under the collarbone, tapping on your immunity point here, right under the collarbone. A few times, and then let the arms open. And coming all the way up. Starting to work your way back down into immunity tapping. And then side to side till we wind up once again knocking on the door of life here with these gentle taps to the back body. And then come center. And just shake everything out. Inhale and exhale. Let's find mountain pose and see how the energy seems to be moving now with all that. All right, here's a good yoga pose that we don't do often enough. From your mountain pose, raise the right corner of your mouth and then raise the left corner of your mouth. There you go. Smile asana. Do we like that? Keep coming back to that during this practice. Come to the back of your mat here. We're going to work on side planks. So we're going to be coming to the back of the mat in mountain pose here. Arms by your side, palms open. Take a breath. Are you smiling? Bring the arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Swan dive. Bring your hands to your thighs, hips back, knees bend. Shine your heart forward for your half lift. Keeping your spine long, start to let your hips go closer down to the mat, right? We're sinking the hips. Bring the hands down and walk forward into a knee up or knee down plank. Okay? It's always a good idea many times to start with the knees down and then see if knees up is the right place to be. Knees up or knees down. Okay, we're coming from plank into downward facing dog. From here, the right knee comes down, the left foot comes to the mat, left arm up, and you're in a knee down side plank. Try not to be collapsing into that right arm here. Right? Everything is engaged. Bring your left hand down and come back to your downward facing dog. So you're going to bring your left knee down this time. I'm going to stay on the same side so I can look and you can see what's happening. Left knee down, right foot to the mat. Right arm up. Yes, you're in a knee down side plank. Bring your left hand down and come back to downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. We're going to walk the hands back toward the feet now. And then float the arms out and up. Palms touch. And hands come heart center. And release. Everybody okay to move on? We're moving on. Okay. Start at the back of the mat. Mountain pose here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Don't worry about how far down your hands come. Just keep your legs straight in the swan dive. Okay? And then hands to the thighs. Shine your heart forward. Half lift. Sink the hips down. Hands down. Find your way to a plank. Knees up or down. Whichever one works better for you right now. Down dog. Right knee down, spin it open into your side plank. And some of you might want to straighten your bottom leg, right? So that's an option here. Doesn't have to happen. Can if you wanted to. Left hand down, downward facing dog. Now we go left knee down, right foot down, right arm up, and maybe extend that bottom leg, maybe not, whatever works for you. Right hand down, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale, and walk your hands back to your feet. Float the arms out and up, palms touch. And hands come heart center. Okay, we're going to do that plank, side plank, one more time on each side, all right? So let's see it. You're at the back of your mat. Okay, you know what it is now. You know if you want to straighten your bottom leg or not. Float the arms up, inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Yep. Shine your heart forward for a half lift. The hips are back, knees are slightly bent. Sink the hips down, hands down. Take it forward into some plank, knees up or down. Find downward facing dog. And beginning with the right knee down, come into side plank, left arm up. Straighten that bottom leg if you feel like doing it this time. Left hand down, downward facing dog. Good, left knee down. Spin open to the right and decide if you want to straighten your bottom leg this time. All right, let's bring the right hand down. We're back in dog here and walk your dog. So we're bending one knee and then the other. Press one heel and hold. And then press the other heel and hold. Press two heels and hold. And then bring the knees down to the mat. Sit off to the side and find seated mountain pose. All right, the first thing we're going to do is rotate the wrists, open and close the fingers a few times. Okay, that was a lot for the wrists, so let's give them a little break here. And now we'll find our nice, even seated mountain pose with the spine very long. The feet are flexed. And we're going to do that breath where the spine continues to extend even as we exhale. Okay, so let's turn the palms out here. Inhale, float the arms up. Feel that energy come up from the earth with you. And then turn your palms out, and as you exhale, feel your spine continue to lengthen. It's getting longer even as your arms come down. Fingertips tap lightly. And one more time. Inhale, draw up. And exhale, fingertips tap lightly down. And release, shake it out. Okay, so nobody told me what favorite for core work or most challenging, so don't worry, I have a plan for you. Okay? All right, so we're going to be playing with the variation of the legs from high to low and see what that does and how that feels to the body. Okay, so let's roll down. Knees are bent, feet are on the mat. You could just open and close your knees a few times. Just wiggle around. Let's get prepared. Okay, hands down by your side. And leave your left foot on the floor. Take your right leg straight up. Point the toe. Now flex your right foot and notice how the core feels here. Pretty relaxed, I'll bet, right? Take your heel down about 15 degrees. So if 90 degrees between the floor and this perpendicular, we're going about 1/6 of the way. And then come another 1/6 of the way. And then have your leg about halfway down. Come down another 15 degrees. And another 15 degrees. Are you starting to feel any difference in the core here? Just notice and then hover your heel just slightly above the mat, and then smoothly but slowly point your toe and draw your leg up. All right, that was on the right. Go ahead, bend your right knee, bring your foot down, and let's try that on the left. So it's the left leg up. Okay, flex your foot, and we're going to notice what happens in the core here as we go down 15 degrees. And another 15. And now we're about halfway. And now we're another 15 lower, another 15 lower, and the heel is hovering, and point the toe, slowly draw that leg back up. This is your left leg. All right, let's bring the knees in and rock side to side. Okay, all right, so raise one foot if you felt a difference from being vertical to being lower. Right? Just raise one foot if you felt any kind of difference there. All right, good. So let's go ahead and open and close the knees. And now we're going to keep that in mind as we make use of that. And you might want to sit on your hands here because we'll be using both legs. So take both legs straight up. Okay? And now we're going to lower them 15. If this starts to bother your back, just take one foot down and work on it single-sided like we just did. Take them down another 15. Now halfway, and then another 15, and another 15, and then hover the heels, point the toes, and slowly bring the legs straight up. So the tendency here is to want to just fling those legs back into the air, right, to release the work, but that's not what we're doing. How did that feel? Wiggle your feet at me if you felt that in your core. If your back is objecting to anything we're doing, then don't do it, right? Find another way to work. All right, so let's do that one more time. Okay, we're going to take the legs up, flex the feet, and then bring them 15. So if you were doing single side, here's your chance to do the other side. And another 15. And we're about halfway here. And another 15. And another 15. And hover the heels. Point the toes, and slowly as you can, bring those legs back up. Draw the knees in. Hold on to your hamstrings and just rock. Let that spine release. Inhale and exhale here. All right, so as long as we have the knees in, we'll use them for our oblique work. Okay, so take your legs to touch. Bring your arms out to the side with your palms face up. Your arms are out from your shoulders. Your knees are in toward your chest. We're not here in tabletop. Knees are in toward the chest. And we're going to let the knees start to sway side to side. Keep the shoulders engaged on the mat. And start out with just a tiny bit of side to side. Add on until you feel like that's the point of where you should stop. Okay? So we want to get some core work here without aggravating anything. So go until you feel like you're getting core work, but you're not annoying your back. And when you have found that point, then take your legs over to that point on the right, extend them, bend them, and come back. Take them to that point on the left. It could be a different point each side. Extend, bend, and in. All right, so remember this is your practice. You can do the extension, you can leave it out, you can stay with the sway, or you can Come all the way over to the right, as far as you're going tonight. Decide if you're doing the extend and bend and come back. Take your knees over to your challenge point on the left. Let's call it the challenge point. Extend, bend, nice. Everybody looks great, and bring it in. So let's finish this off. We like to have a little grand finale here. Come over to the right as far as you're going now, and we're going to extend and bend 4 times. If you're not extending and bending, don't worry about it. Just hang out here. That was 4, and now come center. Take it over to the left, and let's do 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Bring it center. Hug those knees in. So if you hold on to your hamstrings, that's a little less angle for the knee, but if you like to hold on to your shins, you can certainly do that. Whichever works better for you. And then just give your spine a little massage here. Maybe make some small circles and going side to side. Good, bring your feet down, let those knees open and close a few times, little butterfly wings, yeah. Inhale and exhale. All right, so go ahead and raise one leg if your core is awake, it's feels good, right? It feels like it worked. All right, good. Let's go ahead and do some nice hip opening then. Extend both arms and both legs. Bring the arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, draw just your right knee in. Okay? Hold on to that right hamstring or shin. Take your left arm out to the side and take the right leg out to the right and back to center. If your left knee wants to bend some, let it bend. And then pause at center. Take your left hand outside of your right leg. Take your right arm out from your shoulder and let your right knee come just past the belly button here. So we're opening up the outer thigh. Both hips are still on the mat. Both shoulders are still on the mat. Now we're going to let the right leg come farther over to the left, but the right shoulder stays on the mat. Take your gaze towards your left fingers. And then as you come back through center, let your right ankle slide across your left thigh. Everybody's familiar with this one. Bring your shin in and hold on to your shin with 2 hands. You've got your right shin here. Your right foot is flexed, and let those legs move around. Start to really notice how your right hip is feeling. Just move it in any direction that feels great for the right hip. And we're going to come back to center here, and then take your left leg straight up. So we're still in figure 4 with the left leg straight up. And point and flex your left foot, work that ankle, circle one direction and the other, yeah. And then release everything, unwind, 2 feet to the mat, let your knees open and close. Yeah, we're going to extend both arms and both legs again. Inhale. Exhale, this time just the left leg comes in. You've got your shin or your hamstring. That right knee can bend if it's happier that way. And then take your right arm out to the side and let your left knee open out to the left and back to center. And then staying at center here, take your right hand outside your left leg, left arm out from the shoulder. Let the left knee come just past the belly button. Really notice that nice stretch that you get right here. And then the left knee is going to come over as much as it can, keeping the left shoulder on the mat. If you let your left shoulder lift, then you've really just done away with your hip stretch here. So we keep the left shoulder on the mat. And then as you come back to center, let your left ankle slide across your right thigh. Draw the legs in, hold on to your left shin, and move the legs around, noticing how your left hip feels here. And then coming back to center, take your right leg straight up, point and flex the foot, and circle the ankle. Okay, release, unwind, 2 feet to the mat, open and close the knees, little butterfly wings here. And we're going to make our way to hands and knees. Remember, if your wrists are unhappy, roll up the front of your mat, put the heel of your hands higher than your fingers. That takes out some of the angle, okay? All right, so now, and also extra padding for the knees, depending on what kind of surface you're on or how comfortable your knees are. All right, so come into a nice comfortable tabletop pose. Inhale and exhale. All right. So the moon is gathering fullness this week. We're going to, it's gaining more light. So we're going to do that in our little crescent pose for a little more for the hips. Take your right leg back and then out to the right and make a small crescent. So small. Take the right foot to the left and then back over to the right. And now make it a little bigger as you come back over to the left and over to the right. So just think about adding a little more, just like the moon is doing, add a little more crescent to this hip movement side to side. And the next time your right foot finds itself over to the left, leave it there. Turn your gaze past your left shoulder. Find your right foot back there. And then bring the right leg back to center, knee down. Sit up for a moment, shake out those wrists. Okay, and we'll come back to tabletop here and do the same thing with the left leg. Take the left leg back, out to the left. Make a small crescent, right to left, make it a little bigger, right to left, and keep going. And then the next time that left foot is over to the right, stay here, look past your right shoulder, find your left foot. Come back to center and go ahead and come on up, release those wrists for a moment. We're going to move the hips a little more and wind up in child's pose. So bring your hands way forward, come into a gentle knee down plank, bring the hips back toward the heels. And that's what we're doing. We're just going forward and back. And then when you feel ready, big toes together, knees wide apart, find a comfortable child's pose. Yep, and in child's pose, you always want your forehead to be engaged with something, right? So if it doesn't want to reach the mat right now, make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead on that. Then start to find your way into downward facing dog. So as you move into down dog, just notice the process, notice what happens in the body. And once you're here, think about this really more about lengthening the spine than getting the legs straight. So it's If the knees want to bend so that the spine can lengthen a little more, that's fine too. Inhale and exhale. Nice long spine. Take another breath. And then find your journey, feet to the hands, whatever that journey is for you right now. When your feet get to your hands, bring your hands to your thighs, shine your heart forward for a half lift. Exhale, forward fold, and remember, anytime you forward fold, you go as far as you want. Could be high, could be low, could be anywhere in between. Now your feet are grounded. Float the arms out and up. Palms touch. Yes, and hands come heart center. And let's find mountain pose with the palms forward. Heart is open. And just take a few breaths and compare. How is this feeling to how did you feel at the start of your practice? How's your energy moving? All right, so let's do a couple of sun salutations, shall we? Yes, we shall. All right, find the top of your mat. We'll add a little arm motion at the beginning of this. It's going to be fairly basic sun salutation. So inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, right arm back, left arm forward, twist to the right. Take the arms up, left arm back, right arm forward, twist to the left. Inhale the arms up. Now with elbows to waist, it's like a standing cobra. Shine your heart up. Yes. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive over straight legs. Keep the legs straight. Don't worry if the hands go to the thighs, the shins, or the mat. Bring your hands to your thighs. Take a half lift, shine your heart forward. Sink your hips down, hands down, and step back with your right leg. We're going to spend a couple of breaths in this lunge, so just move around. Let those hips really enjoy this lunge. And then find your way to plank. Knees up or down, up to you. Inhale and exhale. All right, we're going to chaturanga, so keeping the spine long, bending those elbows toward the back, take it down. Okay, so your hands are under your shoulders now, your toes are pointed behind you, about hip width distance apart. Extend the arms straight forward out from the shoulders. Take your gaze towards your mat. We're going to raise the right arm and bring it down. Raise the left arm and bring it down. Raise the right leg and bring it down. Raise the left leg and bring it down. Right arm, left leg. Here we go. Right arm, left leg and down. Left arm, right leg and down. Bring your hands under your shoulders and find your way back to downward facing dog. Okay, so you can go table to dog. That's a great way to do that. You can press up and back if that's you. Think about the lengthening of the spine. Inhale and exhale. All right, think about those nice arcs that we were making earlier. Take your right foot out to the right, make a little arc, take the foot over to the left, back over to the right, get a little bigger, to the left, to the right, a little bigger. One more time, keep the right foot over to the left. This time look under your arm, spot your right foot. Bring the right foot back to center. Take a step forward, whatever step is appropriate for you right now. And then walk your feet to your hands. Yep. So it doesn't really matter how far forward the right foot came because you were going back to the top of your mat. Take a half lift, forward fold, and float the arms out and up, palms touch. And hands come heart center. And back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. Okay, any questions about that? Is everybody ready to go on the left side? Are we good to go? Remember to go at your own pace here, right? Okay, so let's find the feet hip width distance apart. Okay, float the arms up, inhale. Exhale, we're keeping the legs straight. The hands are going to go where they belong right now. Hands to the thighs, knees bend, hips back, half lift, sink the hips down, hands down, and come on back up because of course I forgot something. So float your arms up, bring your palms together, and bring your hands to your heart. Yeah, I saw you thinking that. You were going, geez, she always forgets something. Bring the arms up, inhale. Guess what? We're going to open and twist to the left. Left arm back, right arm forward. And inhale. And right arm back, left arm forward, twist right. And up, and elbows to waist, shine your heart up. Inhale, now we're ready. Take it down, fold forward. Take a half lift. Sink the hips down, hands down, step back with the left and enjoy this lunge. Yeah. All right, now find your plank. Could be knees up or knees down. Doesn't even have to be the same as you did last time. Strong chaturanga. And remember, we're using the triceps for this, so the elbows are going back, not out to the side. All the way down. Okay, so remember what we were doing last time. We had the arms long, legs long. Arms are shoulder width distance, legs are hip width distance. Right leg, left arm, and release. Left leg, right arm, and release. Now how about both legs, both arms, and release. And one more time, 2 and 2. Both legs, both arms, and release. Okay, bring your hands under your shoulders and find your way to downward facing dog. Remember, down dog could always be a table. You can always work with your hands on the wall. What we're looking for is a nice spinal extension here. Inhale and exhale. All right, so now we're going to make those arcs on the left side. Left leg up, left foot out to the left, and small arc over to the right. Back left, a little larger to the right. And keep going. Make it a little larger. Yeah. Good. And the next time your left foot is over to the right, hold it there. Look under your right arm to spot your left foot. Looking good. Take it back to center. Take a step forward with your left foot, big as it's going to go for you right now, and then walk the rest of the way up to the top of your mat. There you go. All right, and from here, take a half lift, forward fold. Now, let's think about the lower body being made of concrete. It's super solid, super heavy. Upper body made of feathers. Inhale, exhale, and the next time you inhale, just float the arms up. Yeah, they just float, palms touch. And hands come heart center. And release. All right, so find a nice mountain pose. Take a few breaths here. Just see how everything's feeling for you right now. Let's open everything up with some nice moonflower and sunflower. So take your legs wider than hip width distance with the toes face out. And remember, if we keep the feet on all four corners of the feet, big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel and outer heel, the knees are going to go where we want them to go, which is straight through the center of the foot. So let's work on that. We don't want the knees doing this, right? And we don't want them out, which is less common. Most common is for the feet to sink in. Okay, so knees over hips. Let's add some arms. Arms up. We're in 5-pointed star. Take the elbows to the waist, knees out for moonflower. And then just keep going. We're going to start to add some balance to this. So the next time you come down, raise your right heel. Take it up, right heel down. Take it down, left heel up. And left heel comes down as the arms lift. Now being very careful, both heels up. No wobbling of the ankles. Nice, and bring it up. Okay, here we go again. Right and up, left and up, and double. So notice if you're still, the big toe mound and the little toe mound are still grounded, okay? And take it up. All right, we're going to do down with both heels one more time. Now sit a little deeper. See if you can raise your heels a little higher. And come into 5-pointed star. Try and keep the heels up as you go up. Oh, there you go. Heels down, and let's shake it out for a moment. Ha! Okay. All right, ready for some sunflower, which is a forward fold, which once again, you're going to fold as much or as little as you want. The feet are wider than hip width distance apart, and the toes are out, okay? Knees are still going over toes. Arms are up. We start in 5-pointed star. Inhale. As you exhale, knees out, right arm crosses in front of left, and bring it up. And take it down, left arm crosses in front of right, and bring it up. And that's what we're doing. We're going right arm in front, left arm in front, and you're just finding your own way through this pose here, how things feel to you. Maybe at some point you decide to take your legs a little wider. Maybe you're fine how you are. Just keep switching which arm is in front. And the next time your right arm is in front and you're down in your sunflower, take opposite hand to opposite elbow and ragdoll around. So try and, bending and straightening the knees and wiggling things out, nodding the head, yes and no. Just start to look for anything that wants to move. Come back to center, and as you start to straighten your legs, let your forearms melt a little closer to the mat. Yeah, be careful with that. Now release your elbows, bring your hands to your hips, come halfway up, take a breath here, and then come the rest of the way up. Okay, we're going to do that same thing now, coming to sunflower with the left arm in front. So 5-pointed star, and take it down. So you only go as far as you want to go. Take opposite hand to opposite elbow, left arm is in front this time, and we're swaying around in that ragdoll, nodding the head yes and no. And always ending that head on a yes. Come back to center, and as you straighten your legs, let your forearms melt a little closer to the earth. Now bring your hands to your hips. We're going to come halfway up and stay here for a couple of breaths. Make sure we don't get dizzy on the way up, and then come straight up. Good, and heel toe your feet together. Shake things out and move around. How's everybody doing? You good? All right, so we're going to take a minute here to just let the body decide how it wants to move, what it wants to do. Look around your space, see if there's something you want to bring back down to the earth with you. Okay. Could be a socks or a blanket. Just let the body move around. And then when you feel like you're ready, come to the top of your mat. Find your mountain pose. breaths, just noticing how the body feels and how the breath is moving now. And then inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Find your half lift with your hands to your thighs and your heart shining forward. And then once again, sinking the hips down and just step back to downward facing dog. You can always make this a table instead. Okay, if you're in dog, bring your big toes together and take your knees to one side, hips to the other. If you're in table, just sway your hips side to side. Good, and then come back to center. Bring the knees down, sit off to the side, and come into seated mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. So we're going to do that spine lengthening breath here. Turn your palms up. The feet are strongly flexed. Inhale, lengthen the spine as the arms come up. Turn your palms out, lengthen the spine as the arms come down. Good, and let's do that one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lengthen. All right, let's loosen up, shake things out. We're going to come into Janu Sirsasana here. So with the legs both long forward, take your right foot and put it either at your left calf or your left thigh, whichever feels better for your knee. Okay? Turn toward your left leg. Draw those arms up, lengthening the spine. Inhale. And folding straight forward from the hip creases without rounding the spine at all. Let the hands come down, one on either side of the left leg. Keep your gaze to your left toes here. Inhale, and as you exhale, if there's any more depth that happens in this forward fold, let it happen. If not, just stay right where you are and breathe. Now extend your arms long, sit back up, inhale, and remember to lengthen the spine as the hands come down. Okay, take your right knee up. There's going to be one hand's width distance in between your left leg and your right foot. The foot could either be toward the thigh or could be farther down, depending on if you want a more open angle in your knee. Take your left hand outside of your right shin. Take your right arm up and back. The right hand lands by your, well, it's actually behind your right hip, but the spine is long. Inhale and exhale, twist to the right. Keep your spine long. We don't lean into twist. The spine is always upright. Your gaze toward your right shoulder. As you exhale, turn your gaze toward your left shoulder. And then on your next exhale, turn your gaze back over to the right. Yes. And bring it back to center. Extend your legs. Give them a crazy shake. Shake everything out. Come back to seated mountain pose here. And Janu on the left. So we're taking the left foot to the thigh or the calf. Remember, it's about the knee here. Flex your right foot. We're sitting up nice and tall here. Turn toward your right leg. Inhale, float the arms up. Folding, reaching forward from those hip creases. One hand comes down on either side of the right leg. Your gaze is to or even past your right toes here. The spine is long. And as you exhale each time, you might find that your fingers wiggle forward, or they might just stay exactly where they are, whichever is right for you. All right, draw your arms forward and up. Turn your palms out. Lengthen the spine as your arms come down. Take your left knee up. There's one hand's width distance in between your left foot and your right leg, whether you're more towards your thigh or more towards your calf. Right hand outside the left shin, left arm up and back, spine is long. Inhale, exhale, we twist without tugging on that left leg. And turn your gaze toward your left shoulder. On your next exhale, turn your gaze to the right. And on your next exhale, turn your gaze back to the left. And then unwind, release, give the legs a crazy shake, give the hands a crazy shake. And we're going to work our way down to the earth. So go ahead and bend your knees and roll down. Oh, just let the spine start to get in good contact with the earth here. Inhale and exhale here. Okay, we're going to take both arms and both legs long. And then draw both knees in. So once again, hamstring or shins holding on here. We're going to take this to happy baby. So flex your feet. And if you have your feet, you can hold on to your feet here. You could also just hold on to the hamstrings. Both are fine. Inhale and exhale and happy baby. Notice that beautiful hip stretch. And then go ahead and rock a little side to side. Nice little spinal massage here. Okay, and then come back to center. Bring your hands down by your side. Bring your feet a comfortable distance off the mat. So they could be this high, they could be halfway, whatever's comfortable for you. We just want a little elevation so we can point and flex the feet and circle the ankles one direction and the other. And go ahead and bring your feet down to the mat. Take your legs close together, side by side here. They're touching. And your arms are long out to the side with your palms face up. So gentle windshield wipers here. The knees sway to the right and the gaze goes to the left. Then the knees sway to the left and the gaze goes to the right. And just mindfully move side to side here. So remember, these are our finishing moves. We're not really trying to tax anything here, or just make this nice and soft for you. Releasing the neck. And we started with the knees to the right, gaze left. So the next time your knees go left and your gaze goes right, you'll be even. Come back to center. Take your feet hip width distance and go ahead and open and close those knees a few times. That always feels good. And leaving the arms long, extend those fingers and wiggle them into a gentle fist. Extend and wiggle them in, and just do that a few times. And you can notice how the energy travels all the way up to your shoulders when your arms are long here. It's all connected. And then from a gentle fist, go ahead and rotate your wrists one direction and the other. And now bring your hands down by your side and start to scan your body. See if your body is requesting any final moves. Was there something it wants to do before we start to move into final relaxation? Is there any realignment that you want to make, or put a sweater on or a blanket over you? Do you want your legs long or your knees bent? Just move around, preparing yourself for the final relaxation. Okay, and when you feel like you're in a position that you can maintain in just nice peace and quiet for a little bit of time. Start to feel your body in contact with the earth. Let yourself melt onto the earth. Inhale through the nose. And as you slowly exhale through the mouth, just let go, let the earth support you. Your work is finished as you move into final relaxation. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your space. Invite a deeper breath. Gently bring movement back to your body, moving your fingers and your toes. And as you inhale, extend your arms and legs long. Exhaling, draw your knees in. Give yourself a hug. Find your way over to a side. And as you're ready, come back to a nice easy seat. As you turn your gaze to your own good heart and your bright spirit, thank and honor yourself for your practice, and we thank and honor each other for sharing this time. Namaste.